Show.
Hey yo, so here we are. Um, Topical Chonko, controversial Chonko, drama Chonko, sort of. Not drama with other YouTubers or anything, but CGC drama. Yeah. So I kind of hinted at this a few videos ago that I had some stuff with CGC that where there was an issue, but I was trying to resolve it. In the past, if I've had something, they've been very easy to deal with. Um, this time, I think totally unreasonable and absurd. Like the uh, what they're saying to me is absurd. Sorry, um, and I think in the past people could have accused me maybe of being like a CGC simp. Like I've complained about some things with CGC, like with the time. I thought raising their rates was only okay if it was really going to involve in better service. I thought their quality control could improve. I thought there were certain things, but overall, I kept saying over and over, I thought they did a pretty good job, considering the volume that they get. And when I've had just only a couple minor issues, they've been very responsive. So, um, yeah, I think yeah, this year I don't know how many submissions I've had in 2025 so far. It's not as many as a dealer, obviously, but it's quite a few. I mean, as you see on the channel, I buy a lot of comics. I I up until recently, I grade quite a few comics. You've seen different CGC unboxings I've done. Um, but yeah, this was a shipment that I sent out of 11 comics to CGC in early June, and I yeah, these were C2E2 exclusives. Some were very rare. One was like a 1 of 35. One was like a 1 of 10. Uh, and some other notable ones. Kind of uncommon variants. And for most of these, I think I've talked about this on the channel. A lot of these are comics that I would sell on eBay to fund other comics. It's one of the ways I fund other comics as well as cash out of pocket. Sorry, I got the hiccups a little bit. But uh, yeah, I always look online to see. It usually takes a few days once you see that it's delivered from FedEx. I only use FedEx. I don't use the U.S. Postal Service for anything anymore, just from issues in the past. Um, but they were checked in on the 19th of June, um, and then I didn't see any movement for a little while. But then I was like, well, Fourth of July holiday, maybe um, so I wasn't because I check. I usually, I don't know, a couple times a week I'll check to see the movement of comics, to see are they making their way through the process. And recently they've been, you know the return times have been much more reasonable. But on July 8th I received an email from CGC saying, hey, all of the books in your shipment were damaged, in transit. And uh, I was like, I was shocked. Um, but I know that can happen. I mean, whatever shipper you use, you can have damage. That it's possible. Rough handling and stuff. So I was going to show all the emails back and forth. I'm not going to do that. They're really long and involved, and there's like a lot of back and forth. But let me just kind of summarize. Basically, they're like, look, this is what happened. This is what we can offer you. We can press them on site. If you pay to have these pressed on site. Um, and if I was doing a 9/8 pre-screen. There's 11 comics for a 9/8 pre-screen. If you're not familiar with that, basically what they do is they look at that comic, and if it doesn't meet at least a 9/8, they don't grade and encapsulate it. They just send it back to you raw, and they charge you it's like $9 instead of the full price for grading the comic. modern comics. These are all modern comics, and uh, and they would waive the fee for those that didn't meet the 9A threshold. They would waive the $9 for the ones that they had to return. And I was like, well, you gotta send me pictures. They didn't send any pictures. There were no pictures sent. And so I wrote back. I was like, hey, I was like, I'm shocked. I send comics quite often, uh, and I've never had damage in transit, but I do know that that can happen. So, look, can you send me pictures? Send me pictures, of the comics themselves, and most importantly, send me pictures of the damage to the packaging. Show me how it was damaged, and obviously, if it correlates, like if there's like a corner crush on the packaging, and that's what, then obviously that's a FedEx issue, and I can claim that with FedEx. I can put in a claim with FedEx. So I'm disappointed, and I'm unhappy already because this kind of represents comics that I would be selling on eBay. So I'm not only out the money that I spent on the comics, I'm out the potential gain that I would get on by selling a graded version of these kind of rare variants. Uh, so I didn't hear anything back, right, for a couple of days. So a couple of days later, I called and I said, hey, uh, tell them my name, don't the whole thing. This is what's going on. I need pictures. Can someone send me photos? I don't have anything. I need to make a claim with FedEx, obviously. And as far as like pressing goes, I need to make a decision. If I don't see the photos, I don't know. Like if it's color breaking, pressing doesn't do anything. I don't. It's not going to work. And I kind of wanted to understand. And if it looks like it's going to be a hard pressing job, I would rather send him to Johnny Comic Stuff, and ask him to do a press on him. I wouldn't want CGC to try to correct it and make it worse. Anyway, uh, so like yeah, no problem with and then the representative that day sent me photos, and there were, I don't know how many photos, quite a few, maybe 10, 11, 12 photos, um, but no photos of the packaging. But here, I'm not going to show you all the photos, but here you can see all the comics are damaged on one corner. But you can see here, and here, and here, and here, and here. That's what happened. Um, there are a couple things with the photos. First, yeah, they're all damaged on the same corner, and if you notice on some of the photos, there is uh, what looks like water damage. There's like spray, like moisture, which is weird. If it's just so, I'm like, well, okay. So I wrote back. I was like, hey guys, you didn't send me. I need photos of the packaging along with the label because that's what FedEx is going to want. And they wrote back, and they're like, oh, we don't have that. We didn't save the packaging. We didn't take photos. And there's a kind of this long response about, but it is, we're pretty confident this is, came from like shifting in the packaging. And even if it wasn't, it could be from, how the comics were packed. And then, and she was saying, that it's impossible for them to photograph every package that comes. They get thousands of packages. And I wrote back, I said, well, that's absurd. If you have damage, you have to photograph. Even if you are saying that it was shifting in the package, show me where it's like, look, the way this was packaged, it could shift in this way. I didn't believe that for a second, by the way. So now I'm really getting unhappy, and so I wrote back. I was like, and I said that's absurd. You have to take the photos when you're unboxing them. Why did it take you so long to even get this to me? I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, these were damaged under CGC's care. I don't know that they weren't damaged when you were handling them somehow, dropped, whatever, like however, whatever happened. And if you didn't take photos of the packaging and of the comics, or of the comics, like when you opened them, or something, what it looked like, then trust me, bro? Is that what you're trying to say? Trust me, bro? Is that what CGC would do? Like if they sent raw comics back to me that were damaged, and uh, like the that were damaged in transit, I just wrote back. I was like, hey, I don't really have pictures of it, but you damaged the comics because you didn't package them correctly or whatever. And they're like, well, send me photos. I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't save anything. Sorry, but yeah, it's still your fault. Trust me, bro. Do you think that would go over well with CGC? I assure you it wouldn't. So I wrote back, I'm like, look, no, you are responsible for those comics. You didn't, I understand, you didn't do what you needed to do. You didn't take the photos when you should have. You didn't, document what happened to the comics, in transit or the damage to the packaging or anything like that. You owe me for those comics. And I said, well, uh, what I think you should do. I was like, uh, I said, I think if CGC would like to give them a press and see if these can be salvaged, and then do the 9.8 pre-screen, you know, at your cost on your dime, I am fine with that. And then the ones that don't, that are too damaged, then you got to reimburse me for the cost of the comics. I mean, that's it. And I said, and yeah, all other things, normal fees, like of course, if it goes through the screening process and it's properly graded and everything, once it's pressed or whatever, of course I'll pay for that. Of course, I'm not, but no, you have to make me whole. Like you screwed up, not me. I promise it wasn't me. So you're gonna have to figure it out. And like, no, that's not it. We're sorry. And I was like, okay, well, then you need to return my comics. And they're like, well, we tried in good faith to, like trying to do that. And I said, look, return my comics immediately. I don't want you to touch them at all. Do that and, send me tracking information. And I want, I'm going to have to, look into my legal options here because I think you're responsible. Uh, so anyway, uh, they still haven't sent them back. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. That was like 3 days ago, or I think I don't know, however many days ago, and they still haven't sent them back. So I don't know what's happening. But I wrote, hey, were they sent? Can you send me a tracking number? Anyway, that's kind of where it is. Um, yeah, I'm not happy about any of this. Uh, yeah. Um, here's let me do a bullet point list or numbered list of my issues. Number one, why was there a delay of almost 3 weeks to tell me that there was packaging or that there was damage to the issues to the comics in transit? Why, if you're telling me there was damage in transit, that shouldn't take 3 weeks to tell me. Almost 3 weeks, even with the holiday, that shouldn't take that long. No way. And then number two, why wouldn't you send me photos immediately? Why do I have to request them? And why does it take 2 days to get photos of the damage to the comics? I don't understand that. Number three, why would you not take pictures of the packaging, or if you're saying that they were shifting in packaging, take photos of how you received them? That is insane. Insane. What are you thinking? That totally wrong on CGC's part. Hopelessly wrong. Sorry, no way. What is the moisture damage? Third, what is there? There appears to be moisture damage or some kind of spray or something on the corners of at least one of those comics. What is that? Why is that? Are you saying that happened in transit as well, magically? And then, like, if they're trying to say that they were poorly packaged, and that they shifted somehow due to poor packaging. Well, I don't buy it. So here is, I've never shown this on the channel, but this is my eBay account. Yeah, I don't go by Chonko. It's this account. I've had it for a long time, and that's my feedback. 100% positive. That's for everything. But that's for everything. That's for selling and buying, but 100%. And here's like an example of like a couple of my most recent ones. I'll put it up here. My couple most recent. Um, I ship comics all the time. I've never ever had such an issue. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible that these were damaged by FedEx, rough handling. That can happen. That it can, and I totally accept that. And I but you have to know that if the shipping company does it damages the package, if you don't take photos of that with the label, I can't put a claim in. So that's not fuck me, that's fuck you. You understand? Not fuck me. Not fuck me, fuck you. You see? That's how the world works. If you don't do what you were supposed to do, it's on you 100%. These were under CGC's care, and these books were damaged. These books were pristine when they were sent, like flawless in every way that I could detect. And if they're all damaged in the same way, this, whatever happened, if it's a rough handling incident at CGC, or if it was in transit and you just didn't take pictures because your people screwed up, not me. There's no such thing as trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. That's what happened. Trust me, bro. No, you are responsible. You see, that's how the world works. So, um, anyway, uh, the I'm gonna tag CGC in this post, and yes, I'm leaving all the fuck yous in it. I don't give a shit, man. Like, uh, I'm I'm irate, and uh, and no, you don't get to just brush me off with your customer service agent. No. Uh, I also I have books to send. I'm sending them to PSA this week. My first submission to PSA will be this week, and uh, that, like, if you see my past video, I didn't intend to do that. Like I was gonna let other people be the canary in the coal mine on that, and like, you take the risk yourself, but not after this. Not after this. It's it's I think it's completely wrong, and it's indicative of some of the issues that people have with CGC. I'm not saying that uh, I'm not saying that everybody should be perfect, but if you make a mistake, you should own up to it. If they were damaged by CGC, you own up to it. Or if it's just like, hey, man, we didn't take the pictures, you own up to it. It's your responsibility, yours, not mine. I That's how it works. Uh, so anyway, um, I am interested in feedback on this, and I welcome you to share this video to whoever you think you should. Um, I think that I think this is wrong, and I think that again, I am going to look at filing. I don't know. I wish that they would just I wish somebody would have called me. That's what should have happened, right? Somebody should have called me instead of these stupid emails about, oh, how could we possibly take photos of every package? I'm not saying that. I didn't say that. Um. Anyway, I would like for it to just be resolved, but like if I can't resolve it, I think what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to file a small claims court. I'm in, I might need to go to Florida to do it, but I don't let stuff slide, man. I'm not that guy. Like, I don't let things go. Like, if I feel I've been wronged and I feel like somebody is messing with me and wronging me, I go to the mattresses on shit. I do, and I've been that way for years. And I think that I'm being wronged here. I think that they either damaged them or they they didn't do what they were supposed to do to document the damage. So either way, it's your responsibility. So anyway, yeah, and let me know. Like if you're like Chonko, I think you're way off base on this. This is cut and dry, not their fault. I would be surprised at that opinion, but I'm willing to listen to dissent on this. Um, but like I said, I'm someone who I think in the past you could have accused of being a CGC simp. I've kind of stuck up for them, and now, after this and the more recent issue with Rich, where they clearly bent his book just recently, right, at HeroesCon, and that's not getting resolved either so far. I think I it's hard to stand up for CGC right now, and I think that I'm absolutely going to send this next submission of modern books is going to PSA, and I'm going to see what happens. And these are some kind of valuable books, and I'll be unboxing them here. I just saw Big Leg's video where he seems like he got the slabs look better than I thought they did. Seeing them actually handled it. There are a couple issues, but this is a bigger issue than is the label perfect? To me at least. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you think. Throw Rotten Tomatoes at me in the comments, or yay Chonko, get the man, fight the power, or whatever you want to say, man. I'm in. But that's it for now. That's it for now. And yeah, I'm gonna tag CGC. CGC, if you watch this, reach out, call me. Maybe we could talk about this, and maybe there's just a misunderstanding. But I'm really unhappy, and I think you're in the wrong, 100% in the wrong. So uh, that's all I got for now. Hope your week's going well. I got some comics coming again. I know that's Chonko. You always have comics coming. I know. But this is from the claim sale on Allen's site, which I don't do claim sales ever. But yeah, I got some really good deals on stuff. I know I always say that too, but that's the only way I do things now is if I'm gonna get a really good deal. I try not to pay up for anything. So that's what I got for now. Hope you're doing well. I hope the people in your life are doing well. Making it through the week. Making it through the week. It's part way through. Tomorrow's peak of the week. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna be able to make it. You are a grown up. You've done this many times before. I promise you're gonna be okay. I am here making videos for your entertainment. That's it for now. Bye, bye, bye.